Good evening, Nigerians. First, I will have to condole the family and relatives of the heroes that got killed, got shot in the course of the peaceful and bad governance protests. May their souls rest in peace and may their sacrifices not go in vain. Amen. I want to also take this opportunity to condemn in its entirety the act of barbarism of those involved in shooting them. Though both the police and the military denied it, but well, that's not the first time they killed people in protest and they would go ahead to deny it. The fact remains whoever that faced a mob in peaceful protest with their guns loaded with live bullets are animalistic. They're animals, they're barbarics. It is an unacceptable act and they shouldn't live among human. Great Nigerian people. A singular statement hastily made, an untaught statement, an untaught policy hastily made out of the hunger for power by President Bola Ahmed Tinubu at inauguration. The simple statement, subsidy is gone, and it's gone. Have since progressively done Nigeria a lot of disservice. Housing have become unaffordable, food have become unaffordable, security is totally broken, jobs are not forthcoming, situation becomes the socioeconomic situation of Nigerians becomes more regressive by the day. Nigerians are pushed to the walls and they have decided a month ahead, a month notice ahead, they decided to notify the government for a month that, okay, the youth Nigerians are coming out in a peaceful protest to register the general anger, to register their anger based on the fact that people are suffering, people are dying, people have no food to eat. Nigerians can no more couldn't send children to school. Things are extremely unbearable. It is worth to note that Nigerians are very resilient people, one of the most tolerant society in the world, if not the absolute most. Nigerians needs just a minimal comfort, and that is not too much to ask. Nigerians need security. That is not too much to ask. Nigerians have rights to speak. That is not too much to do. Nigerians have right to send children to school, get children educated. That is not too much to ask. Nigerians are not blind not to see the lavish, outlandish, flagrant opulence and extravagance being displayed by the president, the first lady, the first son, the first daughter, the reps, the senators, and President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's cronies. Nigeria are suffering, and Nigeria needs a spontaneous intervention. Nigeria needs a spontaneous intervention. Like I said, government was notified a month ahead about this protest, a protest to register the people anger, the people pain, the people suffering. But the President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's administration turned deaf ear, treating Nigerians with scorn, disregarding the yearnings of the people, turning deaf ears to the cries of the people, claiming he inherited a dilapidated Nigeria. Tinubu did not inherit an economically strong Nigeria, but Nigeria is not half as dilapidated as the government is trying to claim. The people have a right to protest. Most of the protest was non-violent. And this was a situation, it was an opportunity a responsible government would take. Okay, Tinubu claims he's been doling out the billions to the state governors, but of course, obviously, this did not get to the people. Yes, we are not saying Tinubu did not disburse some of those. We are not saying those claims are wrong. However, why would you continue to dole out billions to the states if you've done it the first time, the second time, and it wasn't being effective? I don't think it would be reasonable to continue to do the same thing the same way and expecting a different result. Today, as it stands, the state governors, the reps, and the senators of the Federal Republic of Nigeria are probably the greatest enemies the country has. They stand against every form of objective development. What this category of people earn officially is already avaricious. It is excessive. Why? Because they set their own salaries and allowances. Who set his own salaries and allowances? They are fraudulent, they are dishonest, they are non patriotic in any way. Their interest is not towards Nigeria liberation or Nigeria transformation. It's all about self. Subsidy was removed in a haste, and that created a hike, you know, a multiplicity in petroleum product pump prices. Nigeria is almost monolithically dependent on petroleum products for energy, since the hydroelectricity could not be sustained over time by the government. Petroleum products had become, for a good time, the life wire of subsistence in Nigeria businesses, power supply, and everything depends on it. Now, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu hastily made his untouched policy and statement subsidy was gone and it was gone. Without preparing, ameliorating, or cushioning policies to check the adverse effect of subsidy removal. And this has made lives unbearable to everyone. But this government has turned out in a posture of arrogance. People have been beaten by hunger and anger, and the complaining life is not treating them right. Life is been so painful with them. But all we hear from President Tinubu and his administration and cronies is just be patient, just keep being in pain, just keep being in pains, just don't talk, just don't talk, just keep suffering and smiling, just keep assuming you're not in pain, even while some are already dropping dead of the pain and agony. Albeit, this same government that kept saying, just be patient, just don't talk, have the liberty to buy new private jets over 120 billion for the president. This government have the liberty to renovate the vice president's residence with over 20 billion. The liberty to renovate two other houses for the same set of people in Lagos, the Aguda House and the one in Dodam Barak, with over 5 billion. This same government have the liberty to devote, to seed over 70 billion to the legislators to buy cars, 160 million each, in a country where citizens are not able to afford a single meal, in a country where infrastructure is totally in shambles, in a country where insecurity is at all-time high, in a country where infant mortality rate has risen so much, in a country where over 50% of the youths have no job. The president and his cronies, in their hyper insensitivity, have the liberty to spend billions on frivolities, errant, errant, extravagant opulence, This same government had the liberty or have the liberty to spend almost 2 billion purchasing cars for the first lady, 5 billion on a special presidential tax force. Every Nigerian knew that was just a flagrant stealing of 5 million from the federal national treasury. A special task force comprising of 20 people. Who do they report to? 5 billion. To do what? So this government has proven to be so insensitive. The government of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu have proven, I wouldn't want to say incompetent, but I think so far has failed. This government have failed Nigerians and the global expectation, because Nigeria, it's one of two things. The country is financially or economically strained, good, and everyone is paying their fair share, going through the tough time, trying, knowing that we won't move from A to Z in a day. It has to be gradational, and we need to make the sacrifices in between. But this is not the case. The Nigerian government and executives are rather the most lavish in the whole world. And they do this side by side citizens that are not eating, that are not feeding. Prices have hiked to an all time unimaginable state. Nigerians have come together to say, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, enough is enough on tyranny. Enough is enough. Enough is enough tolerating tyranny. Enough is enough tolerating bad governance. Enough is enough tolerating unnecessary nepotism. This is Nigeria. It is not a family business. You came to the federal government, constituted the government as if it's your Lagos based government with over 80% of your appointees, of their president's appointees, not logging or tagging into the national objective in any way. They are all there to siphon. They are all there with their intrinsic objective to siphon, to pilfer on the country. But this is not Lagos State, this is Nigeria. Those bullying tactics might have worked for the president while he was governor in Lagos State. As far as I am concerned, rating President Tinubu as governor in Lagos State, there is no how he will score 30% on my rating. I was in Lagos while Tinubu was the governor, and I knew the spate of financial misappropriation. I knew how Lagos State taxes were taken and being shared on a daily basis. But this is Nigeria, and that will not work. That wouldn't play out. Now, what's the way forward? President Bola Ahmed Tinubu have had the opportunity to speak with the people after a lot of prayer. He had the opportunity to relate to the people problem, associate with the people, and in clear terms, make clear his vision to restore tranquility and transform Nigeria to a laudable country and nation to live. However, he blew that up. All he came to do with in his speech was bully Nigerians, was tell Nigerians they don't know what they're saying, was tell Nigerians keep being in pain while I and my cronies, as the almighty president, keep lavishing the country's resources in extravagance, unreasonable extravagance. Just keep quiet, do not complain, while I keep throwing the billions around my cronies. He lost the opportunity. He disrespected Nigerians, and that led to a renewed degree of anger. However, kudos to the organizers of the protest that have given their words. The protest was not going to be violent. I really give it to them because at that point, if not for the degree of equanimity, the degree of resilience, the degree of tolerance Nigerians are known with at that point, where a president disrespects the citizens flagrantly with impunity, there was supposed to be anger. There was anger, but Nigerians were able to curtail the anger in making sure they did not go violent. This was coupled with other unreasonable statements made by the government, the administration stakeholders. The Senate president would make disdainful statements as much as let the protesters go protest while we keep having our drinks and watching them on TV. It is a height of irresponsibility. It is a height of insensitivity. It is a height of invention. It is a height of invention. It is a height of living out of reality, being quixotical. The lawmakers, the lawmakers and the state governors have proven, most especially under the president, Bola Ahmed Tinubu's administration, they have proven over and over that all they're out to do is steal and kill, still kill, override, and cut away. The news and stories of the billions the president had moved to this category of people at different time in the course of this administration, the president trying to ameliorate the situation through them. It's been in different phases. We all heard about the 100 million and 200 million apiece last December to get rice to the people. No grains of rice got to the people. We've all We know about the subsidy billions moving to the states as excess statutory subventions monthly, yet it doesn't make any impact on the people. It doesn't get to the people. We know about the 30 billion plus that was just pushed to them from from for the Federal Inland Revenue FARS account. We know of the second phase to these governors. Where are this money? Where are this money? I think we are at a point where we have done Nigerians have done the national protest, but I think we are right at that spot where and when every state will have to really face their governors very strictly now, because these people take Nigerians for morons. They take Nigerians for loons. They take Nigerians for a ride. For instance, in Ekiti State, of course, they never joined the protest in Ekiti and Ondo State. Yet, Ekiti State is one of the poorest in the country. Yes, the money the governor could not give them, could not expend on development. When it came to protest, yes, he could dole out 35,000 each to each person for them to shut up and not join the protest. Some other states, even the federal government, expended in billions on counter protests, in organizing propaganda to at this point. It is an absurd situation. It's such a terrible situation with Nigeria. Nigerian leaders are dishonest. Nigerian leaders are not sincere. Nigerian leaders are not visionary. Nigerian leaders doesn't have the interest of the country in mind. Nigerian leaders mostly are pilfers. They are so corrupt. Nigerian leaders are too corrupt. And so unfortunately, this mentality and culture of corruption has really diffused into every aspect of the country. When it comes to the issue of money today, it is so difficult for you to meet any honest Nigerian. Pastors, imams, and the traditionalists included. Pastors buy private jets like motorbikes in Nigeria. Nigeria is one of the poorest countries in the world by evaluation, but 7 of 10 richest pastors in the world are Nigerians based practicing in Nigeria. How is that possible? These people are con. They are con. They're con. They preach mischief. The government uses them. We know about some of them in the course of this protest that had to instruct their workers. They will be excommunicated from the church if they ever joined the protest. Then they gave Gary like two tins to each person. Foolish Nigerians. What's the way out? At this point, Nigeria, Nigerians would not allow the cluelessness, the insensitivity, and non-visionary mentality of the leaders to continue to crumble the country. We are saying no, absolutely no to bad governance going forward. No to tyranny, no to loot, because it's going to be fire for fire from here. Nigerians have rights to a good life. Nigeria as a nation is rather the most endowed comparatively in the whole world. Nigerians are rocking everywhere in the world, wherever they are. So we will not continue to sit back and look at clueless, visionless, avaricious vandals to continue to pummel people's life, people's career. What is the way forward? And this is my special advice to President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Nigeria is right at a tipping edge, and drastic action needed be taken that the nation doesn't fall the cliff. Solutions have to be in phases. It is true, per the president's statement, the problem did not start in a day. It can be fixed in a day. However, there are ameliorating solutions that could turn things around instantaneously, while the complicated ones will be taken in a long term project or strategy. What can we do? It is true the president inherited not a buoyant economy, but the president true did not inherit a dilapidated country. What we have is a president that underestimates the citizenry. What we have is a group of leadership that are self focused in totality. Having said this, Nigeria's resources as at today have the capacity to turn things around with Nigeria within a month. And how do we do this? We'll break the solutions into the short terms and the long terms. The short term solutions are those that would immediately affect everyone's life, those that would immediately ameliorate people's suffering, those that would immediately give the little naira in people's pocket a higher value. And what are the solutions? One, with immediate effect, the president would need to tear down the wall of clueless, irresponsible sycophants in his cabinet, the fleet of ill advisors he has around himself. He will need to tear down the cabinet and rebuild with visionary, patriotic, ready to work, and people focused Nigerians. Two, with immediate effect, the president will have to restore subsidy. And this time around, not just on petroleum products, but subsidy on petroleum products and healthcare services. Every federal tertiary institution in Nigeria should be absolutely free, while should be absolutely tuition free, while states and private tertiary institutions tuitions should be at least caught 50%, should be capped at 50% of what it is right now. That's three. Four, to complement what a restoration of subsidy will do immediately is the government would have the ability to reduce by policy or by presidential, what do you call it? You call it something I forgot. By presidential veto, reduce pump price to not more than 30% what it is right now. Then that should be complemented with a regulated price control on vital commodities, restore subsidy, slash petroleum product pump prices substantially, create a regulated price control on food and vital commodities, open the borders. Good, there has been the president announced borders have been opened, but we still do not see. The president has said border has opened, but the customs are there, disturbing everyone, still seizing people products. Open the border as in open the border. Crush, tear down the irresponsible fleet of sycophants in the cabinet. Rebuild the cabinet with visionary, proactive, patriotic, ready to work, people focused Nigerians. Give Nigeria a visionary governance. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, you have the IQ, you have the wherewithal, and you have the resources that could do this immediately. And I tell you, do this, and in a month, in fact, in 2 weeks, Nigeria will be a haven. Trust will be restored in the government, and people will be proactive. Then we can move to the long term policies, long term strategies, and this will come to the people. Nigerians' mentality when it comes to money is so bastardized. People have honesty. Kudos to the former military president, Ibrahim Babangida. He brought, he integrated the culture of being dubious, the culture kleptomania, subsuming our cultural moral values and cheating others has cut so deep into everyone. Dishonesty have cut so deep into everyone. Nigerians need a total mental and psychological reorientation and overhaul. And I would suggest this is actually imbibed in school curriculums, primary, secondary, and the university. Let everyone take it in GNS, General Studies, in Patch 1, and let every graduating student make it a chapter, culture and morality. Make it a chapter in their graduating project and thesis. Need to focus on agriculture, massive agriculture. The 100 billion the president 100 billion plus the president expended on another private jet would have created three farm settlements, three major standard farm settlements in every state of Nigeria. And what that would do is between 3 and 6 months, food issue will be history in Nigeria. If only the government could be visionary. If only leadership could be focused. If only leadership can just be this patriotic for a minute. But no, it is about you. It is about you that wants to fly 5 private jets. It is about you that wants to drive 45 SUVs at the same time. It is about you that wants to live in the mansion at Lagos, the mansion in Abuja, the mansion at Dodam Barracks. It is about you that wants to buy up 1/3, own up 1/3 of Lagos. It is probably about you now that wants to own up maybe 1/3 of Nigeria. But this is Nigeria. This is not Lagos, Mr. President. Mental reorientation, massive investment on agriculture, massive investment on communication. The president is not communicating. Communication should be mutual. People doesn't know what you are doing, Mr. President. Communication should be mutual and effective. The vision has to be clear for people to log into it. This protest should be against the state governors. This protest should be against the senators. This protest should be against the House of Rep members, but the president is not communicating. You are the president of Nigeria today, not the president of APC, not the president of Lagosians or Lagos. So the attitude of arrogance towards Nigerians is something the president should really put behind him, because Nigerians are at a point where they will give fire for fire. Life is good and life is sweet. Nigerians are exposed and they know what goes on out there. Good. Infrastructural development, agro development, total electoral reforms, and diaspora voting. Emergency on education and research. Emergency on agro development and research. Emergency on technovation development. With this, before the end of the administration's first term, if these policies and strategies are focused on and handled visionarily and handled patriotically before the end of this term, hardship will be a thing of the past. All sort of scornful statements about Nigeria globally would be a thing of the past, and the president would have the laurel for it. Nigerians should be prepared to pay their fair share of the sacrifices. As a matter of policy, every family should be compelled, every government worker, states and federal, should be compelled to have farms. It is an emergent situation, and an emergent solution is imperative. The fifth day of 5 days in a week could be devoted to agriculture. Everyone must have farms, gardens, produce something, and food issue will be an history in Nigeria. Nigerians will be prepared to restore the mentality, the culture of honesty, transparency, and hard work. Nigerians are not lazy, but I think most youths have their heads in the clouds, shying away from reality. Nigeria is ours. Nigeria, we must fix. I wish the president the best of lucks. I wish Nigeria a very quick recovery. Thank you.